Hello and good evening, my stream lovelies. I am here to say that on the weekend just past, today being a Monday, that yesterday, after a marathon reading session, which took up most of my day after I got home from church, that I decided to finish what turned out to be one of the greatest single reading experiences that I've ever had the good fortune to be a part of. And it's down to this amazing novel, We Begin at the End by Mr. Chris Whitaker. I do believe that it won the CWA Award for Best Crime Novel, I think back to 1 or 2 years ago, that it won that award, and I'm not surprised. It's absolutely stunning. But before I talk about this amazing novel, I would like to say that 2025 already, in the first 3 months of this amazing year, has been one of the most awesome reading experience years of my entire life. And 3 books I just happen to have handy on my desk here are part of that amazing experience. And the first one was The Poppy War by R.F. Kong. It's a Chinese military fantasy set in an alternative China. And it's, I guess you'd call it grimdark. But it's one of the most gripping, stunning, jaw-dropping, mind-leveling books, fantasy series that you can ever read. This is book 1 of a trilogy, obviously. And the other 2 were just as good. Actually, that's not true. This is incredible. This is like 7 out of 5. The other 2 are like 4.5, 5 stars out of 5. But this was easily the best one of the 3. And 2 other books that I've only just finished that were stunning as well in their own right was Wolf Song and also Raven Song by T.J. Klune. They're the first 2 books of the 4-book Green Creek saga. And I actually read them. I started this one in paperback form, but then I bought it on Kobo. And then I bought this one on Kobo. And as you can see, I enjoyed them both so much. I thought this was great and this was brilliant, that even though I read them on Kobo, I decided to purchase the physical copies. Obviously, as you can see, that's why I bought them. But anyway, excuse me while I cough. I'm here to talk about this amazing novel. Excuse me again. We Begin at the End by Mr. Chris Whitaker. And before I start talking about how great it was, I would like to quote the Amazon website because they have published on the book product page, a stunning synopsis of the story. So here it is. Won't take long. 30 years ago, Vincent King became a killer. Now he's been released from prison and is back in his hometown of Cape Haven, California. Not everyone is pleased to see him. Well, I certainly wouldn't be. No thanks. Like Star Radley, his ex-girlfriend, and the sister of the girl that he killed. Duchess Radley, Star's daughter. She's 13. And she happens to be part carer, part protector to a younger brother, Robin, and to her deeply troubled mother. But in trying to protect Star, Duchess inadvertently sets off a chain of events that will have tragic consequences not only for her family, but also for the whole town. Murder, revenge, and retribution. So the question has to be asked, how far can we run from the past when the past seems doomed to repeat itself? And how brilliant's that? Anywho, on to my review of this amazing novel, We Begin at the End by Chris Whitaker. In fact, it was so good, I dragged out my Kindle Scribe because I wanted to read it and pretend that I'm actually reading the book in hardcover or trade paperback. I love this Kindle Scribe thing. Anywho, Kindle Scribe. Anywho, this stunning novel by Chris Whitaker is so much more than a whodunit. Yes, we need to know who killed Star Radley, but by the end of the first few chapters, our hearts have been broken multiple times by the book's principal character, Duchess, as the synopsis said, the 13-year-old daughter of Star, who is also the brave superhero champion, protector of her younger brother, Robin. Then we have Walk, the local police detective who has outlived his usefulness, according to his peers. He sees the case as his final chance to make a difference in the world that suddenly finds him irrelevant. Parkinson's disease is killing him faster than he wants to admit. And the book's final champion is the writing itself. No unnecessary info dumping here, folks. Just world-class storytelling that leaves you breathless. The story has 4 parts and each one ends on a jaw-dropping and immensely satisfying cliffhanger. The final part is called Heartbreaker, and to be honest, the entire book could be called that, It's one of the most beautiful sections of writing ever published. So what we begin at the end is an all-time great crime novel. It's pure lit of the highest order. By the end, we learn who the killer is, but by that time, we don't care. We only care what happens to Duchess and to little Robin, because enough is enough. Fair's fair. They're only human, but so are we. What else needs to be said? Nothing. So do yourself a favour. Get this book, read it, borrow it, buy it, order it, or whatever you need to do to read it. It'll change your life. It could well change your life. If you're serious about reading, and if you're serious about enjoying, well-written stories and living your books that you want to read, then you can't go wrong with Chris Whitaker. I'm now suddenly a lifelong fan. I'm going to obviously read as many of his books as I can, starting with the one that came out last year, All the Colours of the Dark. Apparently that's even better than this one. Unbelievable. How can it possibly get better than this? But anyway, thanks for watching my videos. And that's my review of We Begin at the End by Chris Whitaker. And I'll see you next time. Bye for now.